Hey everyone, it's Sarissa with Immerse Photography, and I am so excited that you have found this video. Today is actually the 4th of July, so I'm going to teach you how to take better sparkler and fireworks photos on your camera, no matter if it's a smartphone, a point and shoot, or a DSLR. Now, you also might be stumbling upon this video if you're about to get married and you're having a sparkler exit, or you're doing any other type of light painting. So no matter what day it is and whatever you're celebrating, I am so excited that you are here. Because here's the thing, doing light painting does not have to be hard, and it can be a really, really fun way to get everyone that you're hanging out with involved, be it little kids, big kids, or pouty kids in between. Everyone can participate and have fun with light painting. So I'm going to give you 5 steps to help you take a better photo of sparklers, fireworks, and otherwise cool light painting things. Step number 1, make sure that you turn off your flash. You always have to outsmart your camera or outthink your camera. They're always set to automatic and average settings. So when your camera sees a really dark scene in front of it, it goes, oh, I need to add more light and I need to put a flash on this. Well, when you're doing night painting or photographing sparklers, you don't want the people to be lit up. You want the sparklers to be the only light in the photograph. So the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to turn off your flash. I know it might seem counterintuitive, but trust me, that's what you're going to do. Step number 2. If you have a point and shoot, you're going to look at some of the modes that you have available for you on your camera. Chances are you know how to use the sport setting, which is like that little running man, or you might know how to use the portrait setting, which is that profile of the lady with the big fancy hat. Well, inside of those settings, you're going to find a couple other things that you maybe have not explored yet. The one that I want you to look for is fireworks. Now, here's the thing with your camera modes. They don't always have to be used just for that thing. What you're doing when you're using a fireworks mode is you're turning off your flash usually, and you're using a longer shutter speed. And your shutter is that thing in your camera that snaps and makes that really satisfying clicking noise. That's your shutter. So you want to have a longer shutter speed. So instead of taking a picture like that, it maybe takes a photograph over 2 seconds or 3 seconds. So you want to see if you can find the fireworks mode on your camera, or if you have a fancier camera with more options, you might have something that just simply says long shutter speed, and that's what you're going to want to do. Now there is one catch. If you use a slow or a longer shutter speed, anytime you move, and you can do this with your smartphones, anytime you move, you're going to blur whatever's in your photo, and not in a good way. So you want your camera to be held really, really still and have only the people with the light or the sparklers be the thing that's moving. So you're either going to want to use some sort of tripod or put your elbows on a table or on your knees. If you're out watching fireworks and you have a cooler, prop your phone up or your camera up on your cooler, and make sure that your camera isn't moving and only the people in front of your camera are moving. Now, step number 3, if you have a fancier point and shoot, and some smartphones even have the option to go manual, full manual, or if you have a DSLR, you're going to actually switch into full manual mode. So if you look at the dial on the top of your camera, it's actually going to be the M. Now, even if you don't know how to read a light meter, if you don't know what manual it is, I'm going to talk you through this. So I promise you, no matter what your camera experience or knowledge is, you can totally do this. So the first thing that I want you to do is I want you to spin some of your dials and figure out how to change those numbers. The first thing that I want you to do is I want you to change your aperture to the smallest number possible. And a lot of your cameras, that number might be 3.5 or 4 or 5.6. If you have a fancier lens, you might be able to go down to 2.0, 2.8, 1.4, depending upon your camera and your lens. So get the smallest number you can. Once you've set that aperture, then I want you to set your shutter speed. Now, we're going to set our shutter very, very slow, or have a very, very long shutter speed. So you're going to set it to 2 or 3 seconds. Now, I know for us, 2 to 3 seconds doesn't seem long, but in camera world, that is an eternity. So you're going to set it to 2 to 3 seconds. Now, here's what you need to know. As you're flipping through those shutter speed dials, 2 seconds is actually going to look like 2 inches, because it'll be the 2 with the little lines, the 2 little lines next to it. So look for that. I know it really confuses people, but look for something that says like 2 inches. That really means 2 seconds. So what I want you to do is, once you've set those settings to your smallest aperture and a 2-second or a 3-second shutter speed, take your first photo. Now, if your photo is still really, really bright, then what you need to do is do a faster shutter speed. So if you were at 2 seconds, you might want to do 1 second, or if you were at 3 seconds, you might want to do 2 seconds. Now, if you look at your photo and you can't really see the sparklers or the glow sticks, then you need to have a longer or a slower shutter speed. So if you were at a 3, you're going to go down to a 5. Now, I know some of you right now might be shutting down and going, oh, this is a lot. Trust me, you can do this. It's really not hard. So take it and make it a slower shutter speed. So if you were at 3 seconds, go to 5 seconds and see what happens. This is why God made a delete button, you guys. If you take bad photos, you just delete them and nobody has to know. So don't be afraid to make a mistake. So once you've gotten all your settings where they need to be, then you're going to stabilize that camera again on your cooler, on your knees, on a tripod so that we don't wiggle. And once you have all your settings gone, either if it's a point and shoot or if it's a DSLR or a smartphone, then you are ready to have some fun. And that's step number 4. Have fun with this. Let me give you some ideas for what you can do with sparklers and light painting. Now, obviously, you can stand there and have your kids hold the sparklers. You can also draw in the air with the sparklers. So I photographed weddings where I've had the bridal party spell love or the last name of the couple that I'm photographing, and it can be really, really cool. So you could write 704 for the 4th of July, or you could write happy, or you could write America if you wanted to. Think about different ways that you can be creative. So you could draw circles and shapes, or you could write words. Just remember, if you're actually the one in the photo, you have to spell it backwards. Otherwise, it's going to end up being backwards in camera. Now, the other thing that you can do to be creative is you can use different tools. So obviously, sparklers are a great idea. Another thing that you can do is glow bracelets, glow sticks. The bracelets I have here, you can put these around kids' arms and just let them go crazy and let them dance, and you can get some really neat shapes. I've also seen glow-in-the-dark balloons that are amazing, so explore some of those really fun options tonight as you're on the way to the fireworks. Another thing that's really fun, and this is how you can get those dads who don't want to do this is how you can get those dads involved. If you take your smartphone and you turn on your flashlight, let me turn mine on so you can see it here. If you turn on your flashlight, you're going to get a really bright light that you can draw with in your photographs. Now, there are some really cool apps that will also change the color of that light. So you could have red, white, and blue light, and you can draw with that, and you can have a mixture of things. Maybe you have some people with sparklers and some people with flashlights. So be creative, and don't be afraid to make mistakes. If you make a bad photo, big fat whoop, just delete it. Nobody has to know. The point of playing with sparklers and light painting and glow sticks is simply to have fun, because it's pretty impossible not to have fun while you're doing this assignment. Now, the last thing, this is step number 5. I want you to continue to grow and explore and learn more about your cameras, and I'm going to invite you to join me in some of my photography workshops. Very soon I'm going to be opening enrollment for my beginning photography class, and I'm going to walk you through everything from how to hold your camera to how to do some of these more advanced features. It's perfect for everyone, soccer moms and people just learning their cameras. Everyone is welcome here. So what I want you to do is I want you to click that little button and check out my website, immerseworkshops.com, and simply sign up to get more information about one of my workshops. I would love to help you learn how to use that big girl camera or that big boy camera. Additionally, if you are on social media, especially Instagram, is my jam. I would love you to post some of your resulting photos and tag Immerse Photography or hashtag Immerse Workshops. That way I can see your photos and give you some feedback. Thanks for joining me, you guys. I hope you have a blast at the fireworks. Be safe and have fun and be creative. I will see you guys later.